Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Right Way Wednesday. Today I have Sarah O'Brien from the QA and Compliance team with me, and we wanted to talk a little bit about everybody's favorite topic, documentation, right, Sarah? Um, in regards to how we think about it. So not necessarily how to do it right in best practices, but how we are really as clinicians thinking about documentation in general, because, I know as a clinician, you really just want to focus on patient care and you don't want to really have to think about documentation at all. And, for a very long time as an industry, we were able to really to kind of get away with that, right? Thinking about documentation, just, I'm going to get it done at the end of the day. It really is just a supplement to what I'm doing. And it's really not all that important at the end of the day. And as we all know and have all seen across the industry, we are getting more scrutiny on our documentation, and probably rightly so in a lot of ways, because we haven't been putting that much of an emphasis on it historically. And now payers are really looking at our documentation to make sure that we are both billing appropriately and then delivering a skilled service. And often our documentation doesn't necessarily support that. And I know that when I was treating, just before I began this position, I was doing a bit of a hybrid. I was documenting, I was a treating clinician, documenting in a clinic on a daily basis, sort of had that mindset about documentation. And then I began working in the QAC team on a PRN basis, helping with appeals. And I began to see what reviewers were saying about documentation that looked like mine at the time. And I sort of had this aha moment about what I was really missing and what I wasn't really showing in my documentation by just working to get it finished. That was all I was really kind of thinking about. And I know, Sarah, you probably had a similar aha moment at some point, and I know that you also work with clinicians, RDs, our just everyday clinicians that are out there just trying to treat and take care of our residents on appeals, because we really like the collaborative process. And I know you've probably seen some similar aha moments. And Sarah actually told the team about one particular story about an ALJ. And if you don't know what an ALJ is, that is a third level of appeal for Medicare. And that is when we really go in front of a judge, usually over the phone, so it's not in person, but in front of a judge, and sort of plead our case about why we think our claims should get paid. And we have begun over the last few months, actually, maybe 6 months or so, maybe even a little bit longer, to really engage our clinicians in this process too. And some of the clinicians have had an opportunity, as in the story, Sarah, I want Sarah to tell you about, to actually defend their own documentation in front of a judge. And Sarah, I think you had a great story about one particular case. Would you just tell us about it?
Sure. And actually, since our call last week, I definitely have had another situation where